Welcome everyone to the game between Praggnanandhaa, who's playing for the Alpine SG Pipers, and Shakhriyar Mamedyarov for the Upgrad Mumbai Masters. This promises to be a very exciting clash. Mamedyarov always has so many tricks up his sleeve. Praggnanandhaa, world class, playing two candidates at the age of just 20 years. What an epic player he is. This is the Tech Mahindra Global Chess League and happening at the Royal Opera House in Mumbai. This tournament is filled with excitement. The arbiter comes in, starts the clock, and d4 by Praggnanandhaa. Mamedyarov can go d5 or knight f6. Let's see what he plays here. He goes d5. And Pragg goes knight to f3. Shakhriyar now goes knight out to f6, and we have the London system with bishop to f4, pawn pushing to c5, e3 played, defending the center, and queen b6, putting pressure on the b2 pawn. Pragg goes c4. Now if you take on b2, there's just knight bd2 and white is ahead in development. So Shah takes on d4, and now queen takes d4 by Praggnanandhaa. And the best move is either to play knight bd7 or queen a5 check. But Shah goes and takes the queen. This is not a great move because after knight takes d4, white's pieces are just more active on f4 and d4. a6 played here by Shakhriyar, taking control of the b5 square. Knight comes out to c3. He takes on c4. And now just simply bishop takes c4. Look at the white pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4 all developed here. Black gets the knight to d7. Generally here black can equalize with ideas like e5 and also so on in the position. But Pragg quietly goes bishop g3. These are very dangerous positions against a player like Pragg. Especially the bishop on c8 is very passive. He goes short castles. Makes sense because the rooks have nice open files on c and d files here. Bishop comes to b3, b4 attacking the knight on c3, and now rook a to c1, defending the knight here. Shakhriyar goes short castles here, and maybe Pragg can get the other rook into the game, but he plays bishop e2. I love this move. He wants to pop out the bishop on this long diagonal from f3. Knight comes to b6, and now Praggnanandhaa brings his bishop to f3, a very strong move. The b7 pawn is weak. For rook e8 played with the idea of perhaps e5, e4. Knight jumps in to e4, opening up the c file, and he takes on e4. Bishop takes e4. But now black is getting e5 and later f5. He plays e5. Pragg must go back, knight to b3. He plays it, and now f5 could be a strong move. He plays it, f5, bishop goes back, and now maybe g5 with the idea of f4 to trap the bishop. But instead he goes e4. That's a big mistake by Shakhriyar, because while he closes down this bishop, he opens up this bishop here, and all the light squares can be potentially weak. Bishop e6 played, knight d4. What are you going to do for this, Shah? My God, Praggnanandhaa has a huge advantage now. He jumps in, knight to d4, attacking the bishop and the pawn on f5. g6 played here, defending the pawns. And now knight takes e6. Should we take it? And then jump in with rook to c7. That looks like a great way to continue. Yes, he takes, rook takes, and now rook c7 played with the idea of taking on b7. b6 is then weak, and then bishop c4. Well, keep an eye out for that bishop activating. bd6. Mamedyarov wants to trade pieces. Pragg is like, I'll take on b7. Bishop g3, h takes g3, and later this g pawn will advance to break this structure. Rook to d6, wanting to enter in to d2, and rook c1 played. He's going to double up the rooks on the c file. Knight comes back to d7. 8 minutes for Shah, 9 for Pragg, g4. plays a very calm, nice move, takes on g4, and now the e4 pawn is also weak. So white is a pawn up, has a superior minor piece, black pawns are weak, it's all going down here. Knight f6 played, and you can see Shah already knows that the writing is on the wall. Bishop c8, very cool move by Pragg, trapping the rook on a8. Later g4, g5 is coming in, a5 played here by Mamedyarov, and now Pragg goes pawn to g4. He's going for g5, rook c7 coming into the game, and king h8. Time to push one more square ahead. g5, no, first king g2. Pragg is like, he's enjoying himself. He has 5 minutes 50 seconds, lot of time on the clock, and this is comfortably winning here. He plays his pawn to g5, and Shah now needs to move his knight. He goes knight d5, and Pragg finds another excellent move. He doesn't fall for this rook d1 trick, which is knight e3, and hanging here also c8. Bishop was hanging. Knight goes to b6, attacking the bishop on c8. Just get the bishop back to g4. But Pragg's time is going down a bit. He's at 3 minutes 38 seconds, and Shah is resisting here. He's not giving Pragg an easy way to convert. Bishop e2, now rerouting the bishop from the other diagonal here to c4. Makes a lot of sense. Rook f8 played, and Pragg, well, he's going for the king. And look at Praggnanandhaa's time. After king g3 has 2 minutes 10 seconds. The game is getting more and more intense. Rook d8, bishop goes to g4, and now rook f e8 played. Pragg is still totally winning, but he's finding it difficult to find a way to break in. Maybe rook a5, rook a7. Yes, he finds it. Attacking a4, also threatening to enter here. Rook e5 played, attacking the pawn on g5. Maybe just king h4 to defend it. No, he goes rook a7, takes the pawn on g5, and now take the pawn on h7 with a check. He goes king h4, which is also an excellent move, attacking the rook. Doing this step by step. Rook e5, takes the pawn, king g8. And now rook g7, take on g6. He goes rook g7. The only problem for Pragg is his time is down to 1 minute. And I think he's trying to reach closer to move 40 when he would get 2 seconds extra. But he's already made it to move 40. So now Pragg has extra time, extra material. I mean, not extra time, but 2 second increment per move, extra material. Rook g5 looks good. He goes rook e6, trading, offering a trade. Knight goes to f5 with a check. You have to take it, or else you will lose your rook. So takes, rook takes f5, and now just rook takes e4 should be good enough. Maybe Pragg wants to be very accurate here. So he plays rook h6 check, king goes to g8, check again. He goes king h8, and now 1 minute 43 seconds for Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. Pragg is 2 pawns up. The pawn on a4 is also falling. His time is down to 48 seconds. He plays this move with just 26 seconds. Shah moving quickly. The way in which Shakhriyar has put Praggnanandhaa under time pressure is insane. Rook d5. Look at the speed at which he played that move. Crazy. Rook h2 played. Not the best move here, but still winning for Pragg. The tactic is check, king g3, check, king f4, and if you take this rook, I take your rook. So that's the reason why he goes king g8, rook takes a4, a blunder by Pragg. And now the thing is, it's a perpetual check. Look at Shah. He's like, whoa, I got a chance here. I've got a big chance. Check, king here, check. And Praggnanandhaa now, the problem is, after king f4, there's another check. And the checks keep coming all the time. There's nothing you can do. Check, and if you just move the king away, then the rook on h2 is falling. So that's the reason why the king has to stay in touch with this rook. But wherever it goes, it's just a check, and Shah claims threefold repetition, and Pragg can't believe what he has done. He's looking at the scorecard of the team. Has he botched it up badly? And a draw agreed. What a save by Shakhriyar Mamedyarov. And the only great news for Pragg was that Leon Mendonça managed to save the team by winning his game against Daneshwar Bardia. And Pragg here, although he had a shocking draw from a completely winning game, his team managed to win. You never see Pragg so upset, but definitely that game he dominated from the start to end, and he definitely was not happy with the result.